Whoa. Oh, we're recording. Sorry to drop that in there. So everybody gets vertigo at the beginning here. Okay, so Brady, can you ask that question one more time on camera this time?
Yes. Do you have any homework to do over spring break?
No, but you have extra credit to do.
March Madness. Yes. Go. Woo!
Okay. We're going to talk about our extra credit assignment first because it's the fun part, okay?
Thank you.
So how many of you don't know anything about March Madness? Raise your hand. Okay, you guys with your hands raised are probably going to win, okay?
Yes.
So here's what we're going to do. Now here's the problem. This week is conference tournaments. On Sunday night, I can't remember exactly, probably about 5 or 6 p.m., they're going to announce the March Madness brackets, okay? So probably around 7 p.m., I'm going to upload a new spreadsheet. But let me show you what I did last year, okay? So if we go over here, if you go to Stat 1040, I actually have another video which you're welcome to watch again. And if you go down here, oh, I forgot, okay. Oh, is it not here? I swear I put this in here. Oh, I'll have to pick a different class. I thought I had imported that.
Spring break starts Thursday? No.
Spring break is next week. Okay, so you're going to have to remember to do this on your own because I won't be here to remind you. But basically, starting Sunday night, I'm going to have 2 assignments. One's called March Madness, and the other one's called the simulation. The simulation is going to be worth a few more points. Let me go here first, okay? So I've got these videos here. You can watch these. But at any rate, here's the deal. I've got this spreadsheet. This is the spreadsheet I used last year. I'm going to upload a new spreadsheet. So check this again. So basically what happened was, okay, this first page tells you how every team has done. So let me back up a little bit. So last year, Kentucky played Hampton in the first, I think this is actually from 2014. Yeah, this is a few years old, okay? 2014. Now, up until last year, okay, if you go back to this page here, I'll try to zoom in a little bit here, okay? So we've got the higher seed win percentage here, okay? And then over here we have the lower seed, okay? So if you look at the 1 seed, you can see their record versus the 16 seed, okay? In 2014, the 16 seed had never beaten a 1 seed. There was 120 straight wins, okay? Until last year. Last year, stupid Virginia lost and killed my bracket to freaking, I don't even know who it was, UMKC or some weird school like that. Anyway, so for the first time, a 16 seed beat a 1 seed last year. It totally screwed my bracket because I know I had Virginia in the Final Four. So at any rate, I'm going to update these numbers. It's now, instead of 100%, it's a 99.3%. Okay? So I've got a new spreadsheet here, but the idea here is generally a 1 seed is probably going to be the 16 seed. The 16 seed has only won 1 time, and it was last year. Okay? A 2 seed versus a 15 seed, the 2 seed has beaten the 15 seed 94% of the time. Okay? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense? Yeah. So basically the way it works, so here in the Midwest, so back in 2014, Kentucky played Hampton, and I at the time I said, this is going to be your stone cold lock, Kentucky's going to win. And they did win, okay? And so what you have to do is, I'm going to fill in this first team with all the correct teams, okay? You have to pick, so there's 2 ways to do this. You can just pick a bracket any way you want. You get 1 point for doing the bracket. You get 1 point for every Final Four team that you get correct. You get 1 point for the final 2 teams, and then you get 1 point for the national championship. So that's a total of 8 points. Now, you also have to enter into ESPN, okay? You need to tell me what your username and password is at ESPN. If it's Pink Fairy Princess, which I think was one of my students last year, Okay, I don't know who Pink Fairy Princess is. You know, you can say Ashley is Pink Fairy Princess or whatever, okay? So tell me what your username is so that we can track it. ESPN has a great way to track it, and it will be good. This tournament is over the next 3 weeks, okay?
No
So you have there's no classes next week in celebration. How about that, okay? So, so basically, here's what you do. You go through the Midwest, you pick all your teams, okay? You do the same thing here, and then you say, okay, Kentucky's going to be the Midwest champs. In the East, you do the same thing. I had Providence. West, you had Arkansas. South, I had Duke, okay? Then you've got your Final Four teams. This will automatically fill these in for you correctly, okay? And then, so for example, if you have Duke versus Kentucky, you can go back to here. You can say a 1 seed versus a 1 seed. Well, they win 50% of the time, okay? If you have a 50-50, you can pick whoever you want, okay? In this case, we picked Kentucky to be the projected winner, okay? So the way this works is you get 1 point for trying, 1 point for each Final Four team, 1 more point for the final 2 teams, plus 1 point for the national championship, okay? Now, so there's 2 ways to do this. So one, pick them any way you want. The other one is to do a mathematical simulation. That's worth 3 points. And so let me explain how that works.
So we don't have to do it on Excel. We can do it on the ESPN, like on our phones.
Okay, so you need to tell me for the simulation, you have to do it in Excel.
Okay.
Okay, and I want you to copy your Excel spreadsheet to ESPN so that we can track it that way.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Sorry, so for the 1 seed versus the 1 seed, wouldn't it be impossible to not be 50%? Because anytime
Basically.
one wins, one loses.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay, now the other thing that I want to mention here, because this is a simulation, some teams have never played each other. So for example, if you have a 6 seed playing a 14 seed, that has never happened before. You're on your own for picking the winner, okay? Now, usually the 1 seed has a better record, but you'll notice in here, so for example, the 5 seed has played the 8 seed. Now, technically the 5 seed should be the better team, but the 8 seed has won 3 times out of 4, okay? So for whatever reason, that 8 seed has beaten the 5 seed. They only have so the 5 seed has a 25% chance of winning, okay? Also, a 7 seed has played an 11 seed 3 times and has lost all 3 times. So if you either have 0% or 100%, I'm going to say good luck with that, because I probably wouldn't put 0% in there or 100%. Okay, and there are a few. I've highlighted the zeros in orange, and I've highlighted the. So for example, a 5 seed has only played a 6 seed 1 time, and the 5 seed won. Okay, so you can see their overall records. And you can see how often they've played, okay? So the idea here is you need to use a random number generator. So let's say let me do this. In fact,
And this is for the mathematical.
this is for the simulation, okay? So you need to submit your spreadsheet for the simulation. Equals rand between, okay? Let's say 1 and 1,000, okay? Now let's say I was picking the 1 versus 16. Now now by the way, let me back up here, okay? The 8-9 game, those teams are very competitive with each other. The 8 seed has won 52% of the time, the 9 seed has won 48% of the time. Usually those teams are very evenly competitive, okay? So it's not surprising here. So in this case, the idea is, if I get 1 through 521, I would pick Cincinnati. And if I get 522 through 1,000, I would pick Purdue. So in this case, since I got 693, I'm going to pick Purdue. Purdue in the second round. And that will be, they're the 9 seed. Okay? So now I can go back to here and I can say, well, a 1 and a 9, let's see what the winning percentage is. Versus the 8 seed, it was 80%, but versus the 9 seed, it's 90%. Oh, that's interesting. So you can copy this again, and then you can say, okay, so now I'm doing the 1 versus the 9. I get a new random number. It's probably, so 415 is less than 900, so I'm going to pick Kentucky.
Oh, that's just to randomly select.
Yeah, so you need to basically pick a bunch of random numbers here. This is kind of how I did it. And then you need to go through the bracket and do your simulation. Okay? So this is a little bit harder. That's why it's worth 3 points just for trying.
So this is going to be a different bracket from normal.
Yeah, so you have a chance to get 10 points in the simulation bracket. By the way, nobody's ever gotten all 10. Nobody ever gets the final 4 correct. I've only had, some people will get 3 out of the 4, but nobody's ever gotten all 4 since I've been doing this. Okay? Well, good luck. So theoretically, you could get 10 points extra credit on the simulation bracket, and you can get 8 points on just the whatever you want your bracket to be. Okay? So that's a total of 18 points that you could get, but nobody's ever gotten 18 points.
What if you guess the national championship and guess the exact score? Like guess who?
I don't care about the exact score. Just pick the winner.
That's like.
Okay? Now, by the way, ESPN, if you want to do that, they have a contest. Warren Buffett used to have a thing where if you picked a perfect bracket, all 64 games correct, and oh, by the way, I should mention one other thing, you would win $1 billion, okay? And then you could drop out of college, okay? Now, a couple other things that I just want to mention here. Oh, let me show you this. So I've got my bracket from last year. Let me just pick this up really quick.
So the brackets come out Sunday night or Monday morning?
They come out Sunday night. This is due on Wednesday at midnight. The reason why is because the games start Thursday.
Okay.
Now, there are 4 games on Tuesday. I don't care about those. Let me just mention those really quick.
Well, those are just playing games.
Those are playing games. So let me just show you. So this is last year, okay? So for example, so notice here on the 16, it says LIU. I think that stands for Long Island University, and I think RAD is Radford, okay? Those are probably the 2 worst teams in the tournament, and I don't care who you pick to win, okay? Because Villanova was going to win that game anyway, except for, I will tell you that stupid Virginia that I hate now, Virginia's for losers, okay? They lost to UMBC. I don't even know who UMBC is, okay? But they lost. That was the first time a 1 seed has ever lost. I've been saying for years that one of these days it was going to happen, and last year it happened, and that was in Virginia. I hate Virginia, okay? So anyway, yeah, so this is a good example. This is a blank thing. So you'll get a blank thing, and you'll have to fill in all of these as winners, okay? Just like this. This is a filled-in bracket, okay?
And so you need us to finish this by next Wednesday or by tomorrow?
So it opens on Sunday. It closes the following Wednesday because the games start Thursday, okay? So we don't have to worry about you guys watching the games, I guess, during class.
Well, we still can the next week.
There will only be 16 games instead of 32.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. All right. So that is your extra credit assignment. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the recording, and then we will start it again with our next thingamajig.